So, I don't know how to start this video. I've been wanting to say this for quite a while now, make a video talking about some stuff, but I've never actually found the time, the actual space to get what's in my mind onto the camera. Start off with Mark, 21, and I want to make a bit of a video just to explain some things that go on inside my head, things that I find it hard to understand. I don't know if it's been this week or last week, or recently I noticed it was Mental Illness Awareness Week or Day or whatever, and it got me thinking, like, maybe I should make a video and tell my story. So here it is. Last year, no, when I was 18, I decided to try and take my life. I was drunk and I was on drugs and I was failing my best friend and I was hurting and I wasn't out the closet. I never came out that I was actually gay, and I thought, well, I didn't want to accept it myself, so I thought the best way to get around it was just to leave the world and not have to actually deal with the consequences of coming out. So I wrote a status on Facebook telling everyone that I was gay, and then I woke up in the hospital for what I remember, and that was it. I done it. I came out. So I was had to deal with the consequences of what I wrote on my status. So after that, I became a different person. I became more confident, and my life kind of changed for the better, I would suppose. But there's always been that one thing inside me that's been missing, and I've never ever been able to find what it is. So going through life, and I used to go out and drink a lot and get pissed, and just to forget what's going on around me. And I get myself in situations that I look back and I don't understand why I've done that, or why I acted that certain way. So as years went on, I got to situations where I don't know if I was depressed or what I was going through, but there was always been something there that's been missing in my life, and I can never ever figure it out. So I don't know if I got to the point last year, the end of last year, I decided to do it over again, and my mum found me at this. She actually found me in the middle of trying to do it. She found me with a scarf around my neck, and I tied it to the door handle, planning to jump off the banister, and then I just went mental. I remember just going completely crazy to her. I just wanted to go away. I didn't want to be here, because I just didn't want to be here. I didn't want to live in a world where I've always got this thing that's there, and I can never explain what it is, but it's just something's not there. And it's like my head, it doesn't. I go through life thinking that I'm doing the right thing all the time, and this is the way that I should act. And then I look back on it and I don't understand why I acted in these certain ways. I hurt my mum a lot. Growing up, I used to have been such a horrible person to her. But she was the one that was my rock. Like, she's the one person that I'll always have respect for, in a way that she's my Jesus. She's that person that I always try to look up to, and I use her as my conscience, because I would never want to hurt her, but I used to hurt her a lot. And I never understood why, because at the time I thought that I was allowed to hurt her. So we got to the point where we were wondering what's going on in my head, and she put me forward to speak to the doctors. So I went to go speak to the doctors, and they wanted to analyse me, and went and spoke to them and told them about my situations, and then she put me through for something to speak to a psychiatrist. So then I got a meeting to speak to a psychiatrist, and then he diagnosed me with something called borderline personality disorder, BPD. So I never knew what it was about. I never understood what he was meaning. He was telling me a lot of things that registered in my mind and being like, wow, I do think like that, and wow, I've seen myself act like that. So I searched it when I went home, and it's quite common in a lot of people, but it's the main thing behind it is it's called fear of abandonment. And I look back and I've always put myself in situations where I'd rather run than actually feel. I try and not let myself get too emotionally connected to people because I'm scared to get hurt. And I look to the future in a way that if I let myself, if I bring my wall down for you, then I'm going to be the one that suffers for it. Like, you take that leap of faith in people, and I've not got that for people. I don't trust people because I'm scared that I'm the one that's going to get hurt, and it doesn't matter who it is. That's the way I feel. Being gay as well, obviously that came up in subject, and it was just like, maybe they tried to understand why, because they say you're not born with it, but you can be born with it, but most of the time it's the way you've been brought up, and they look back to see what's connected to. And I never had a bad upbringing, like mum and dad fight and the usual stuff that go through family lives, divorce, but I was always different for the rest of my siblings, and my aunties and my uncles would say the same, and my cousins, and Mark's always been that little bit different. And I thought the whole time it was because of being gay. It was me trying to shout out, but there's obviously something deeper that's been going on in my head the whole time that I was going through childhood and adulthood and stuff like that. So as for now, I'm on a journey of trying to figure myself out to be a better person, because I didn't like to hurt people, but for some reason that's what I do a lot. I was supposed to start a group therapy, supposed to start therapy to to make an understanding of how to understand situations in life, because I can see them different than most people. Like, for example, if two friends met each other in the street and went for a coffee, if I find out that they went for a coffee, then I'd think, why have they not invited me? Like, are they trying to hide something from me? Like, I'll overthink it. And then I look back and I can see situations that has happened with my friends, and they're telling me, like, Mark, we never planned to not invite you, it just kind of happened. But then I'll fight with them and I'll go massively, because I worry that people are going to just walk out my life. I worry that people would just go leave me, and that's why I find it hard to put my trust into other people. Because if I'm just left, there's like, I just feel sometimes that I'm not as important than other people out there. But from right now, I was supposed to start therapy, but then I left. I left Scotland and came down to Edinburgh after a lot of stuff happened at work, and I wasn't happy. I've always told myself that I want to one day write that status and saying I'm so happy and content with life. But I'm never ever going to, I find like it's so far away. Like, obviously I want to find love and things like that. Like, personally, I don't think I've accepted myself as being gay, because it's just who I am as a person. I can't help who I'm attracted to, but as a person, for me, it's still not right. But I can't help that. I've got to the point I understand that I can't fix it. So I'm just going to have to kind of go along with it. So for now, that's my mental illness awareness, to make people out there know that, yeah, people struggle, and no, everyone's life is as perfect as they make out, because we've all got stuff going on, and it's hard to understand what other people are going through until you go through something yourself. And if there's other people out there that have the same situation as me and they go through depression or anxiety, I understand. Anyway, if you've watched it, thanks for watching, and thank you.